A very good morning, everybody. In our previous tutorial, we have seen how we have created a table, how we have inserted the data. Now, getting the ID of the last inserted data is very important. While you are working with the web pages and different projects, you will need to understand. Then you will get to know the importance of getting the ID of the last inserted data, because we many times we need to track the data and which data was inserted. We need to check that. So for this, we just have a query which we are going to process. Now this is the query to create a table. Now once we have already created a table in our previous tutorial. Now once we create the table, now you can see that. Now let us have a look to the set of codes of object oriented. This is the name of the server, name of the username, password. Now this is the connection string which is holding the value for the connection. This is what we need to store while we work of getting the last inserted data, because when we are working on the to get the last inserted data, we are going to count this. Yes, what was the using this variable we are going to get this. Now you can see that yes, this is the checking of the connection, that is the communication between the web page and the local server. Now once we check the connection, then we insert the data. Now once we insert the data, we can see that if connection query SQL is true, that means this one we are going to process. This query is going to process, that may process the insert query. Now when it is with the connection, when it is going to insert the query, that means the query was successful. Once the query was successful, then in the this is a variable name in which we are going to find, this is the connection part and this is the insert ID, that means what was the last inserted data in this, and this is what we are trying to do, and this is what we are storing in last ID. Now let us have a look to this. We are copying the set of codes. This is the insert.php page in which we are saving this. Now let us first change the name of the server and the username. Now we have to check the name of the databases. Now we are going to work with the database MyDB. Now we are trying to execute the entire part, and now let us see that after insertion we need to get the, after we insert the entire part, then we need to get the last inserted data from the database. Now you can see that new record has been created successfully and last inserted ID is 3. Now you can see that yes, here we have only 2 queries. Now the third value is John Doe email address, and you can see the timing. Now this is what is the ID of the last inserted data. This is how we get the ID of the last inserted data. Now again have a look to the procedural part. This is the name of the server, password, username and database name. We check the connection, that is the communication. We are checking the communication here. We are taking the query in a variable SQL. Now this is, we are processing the query. This is the name of the, this is the connection string and this is the name of the query and the variable. Now the insert value, this is what is it, the query which is going to run. This is what it is. This is a function which is going to identify and find the last inserted data of this connection. Now similarwise we are working with the PDO. You can see that we have taken the query in a string. Now we are executing the query. Now in the last execution query, you can see that this is a function which is of this connection, and it is going to identify the last query, the last ID of the query processed processed and will be storing it into this. This is how we find the last inserted data from a web page or through SQL by running the SQL query. In our next chapters, we are going to insert multiple queries. We are going to work with prepare statements, select data, delete data, and so many things which we are going to work in our forthcoming chapters.